Okay, so today we are reading text messages from the most unhinged creep that I've ever featured on this channel. So here's what I know so far. I am aware that this story went viral all over social media several months back. In fact, I have been sitting on this for a couple of months now because I have been concerned that the long nature of texts and the long backstory would snap a synapse in my brain and make me different. However, I just read some of the top comments from the story and they assured me that this is all worth it. So I'm gonna do it. I've also read the backstory, which is required reading before we get into the text, so I know how this all started. However, I have not read the text messages themselves yet, so we're gonna brave this together. I'm gonna give you the cliff notes on the backstory because it's very long. But the husband and wife have been dealing with this coworker of hers for 5 years now. We're gonna call him Elroy. Sure, fine, Elroy. I looked up creepy, weird baby names and just picked one. Okay, so she's a software developer working from home, but there were many projects that they would work on together in person. This man, a much older man, was assigned to her as her project manager, and she was 25 at the time when this all began, and he was 40. There were many instances of unwanted contact. He sent her a bracelet, booked a cruise to the Bahamas, and booked her a ticket as well without her permission. And she went to her supervisors and said, hey, what the hell? And they never did anything. In fact, they finally filed police reports one time for unwanted contact, and that worked for about a year. Then, in the summer of 2022, the wife announced to her team that she was leaving the company in 6 months, and they were going to start preparing to finish the projects that she was leading. Elroy was visibly upset and asked her why, and she was like, you don't need to know. This is not your thing. Get out of my face.
Turned his hardware into software.
And this is where it gets really weird. The last 6 months of her employment, he texted or spoke to her every single day, always about mundane stuff like the color of the granite countertops at work and like sports scores and the baby salamander he devoured for lunch. I just made that last one up. Then she finally left the job. The couple moved into a new house and the wife started a new role. She didn't hear from Elroy at all for a while, and then this series of texts happened. Hey blank, I hope your weekend has started nicely. I apologize it took me a few days to feel like I could say this. You need to break up with blank. And then agree to be my girlfriend with intentions to be my wife, and let me explain why. I can provide more for you than he can. The independent woman facade you engage in wouldn't be necessary with me. I make more than enough money in my job in order to take care of you and provide you with a lakefront house, which I know is a desire of yours. I can provide you the free time that you often post about and yearn for to engage in your favorite hobby, ceramics. All I ask is for your devotion in return. I know I am perhaps not physically desirable to you, which is why I plan to compensate with the lifestyle you often talk about wanting to provide yourself.
I am more nervous than a hungry mosquito trapped inside a morgue.
I know if you could be given an opportunity, you would take it because you mostly desire to be able to experience freedom in your life. It is sometimes painful for me knowing you could have everything you wanted if you would simply agree to be my wife in the future. I could also pay off your student loans and car loan, which I know you've expressed desire to have those completed in the next 6 years. I could do that today with a simple phone call to your loan companies. All I need from you is to immediately move to my property and begin your new life with me. Not once has he said anything about, I love this about you. I love you do little curly twirly hair with your hair when you're in a happy mood and I love that you're so giving and you're so kind and you're so funny and you have such a silly sense of humor. You love puns. I love puns too. Your kindness is it's so pure. No. None of that. And I promise I'm not or a creep. Jesus. I'm not going to imprison you or shackle you or enslave you to abasement. You are free to continue your friendships with your womanly friends and your relationships with your family. I would never take this from you. I would never force you into sexual situations you do not want to be in. I know it must sound so strange hearing this, but I feel I must make it clear to you that this is a dream opportunity that will not harm you in any capacity other than dropping your current life, boyfriend, and job, and immediately begin pursuing your hobbies while we plan our wedding. I think he's briefly cracking through the psychosis here and realizing, hey, everything I'm saying right now is nuts. So I have to preface that, hey, it's not going to get more nuts from here. This is as nuts as it gets with me. So I think that's what he's doing here. I hope you're not overwhelmed. I know we have not spoken very much in the 6 years we've known each other. I've always known you were supposed to be mine as soon as I met you on March 3rd, 2018. I've never once inserted myself into your life. Bahamas? Buying a ticket for somebody who didn't ask for it? Is that not insert? Like, is that... Okay, I haven't pestered you for your phone number, and we have an occasional chat on Facebook now that we're not in the same office anymore. I've been satisfied with this level of acquaintanceship for years, and I understand that you have been with blank since 2012. I understand you were committed to him prior to us meeting, but blank, you must agree that we have something special. We share so many interests, and we were always able to have great natural conversation. When we would attend lunch together during the workday, it was an effortless and relaxing experience to share those 40 minutes with you once or twice a week. 100%. Those were with groups of people. There was no way in this God's green earth that y'all were doing this by yourselves. I don't think I forgot how often you paid for yourself. A trait I knew was you trying to assert your independence in front of me. I knew then you were trying to show me that you'd love for someone to take care of you. I feel like I'm just reading the script of like a Michael Scott talking head soundbite right now. That like this is this level of delusion, dude. Like when Ryan Howard would like say something shitty to Michael, and then Michael would just saunter off and just be somber as hell, and then get into the office, and then, you know, just be like, he said that because he was like, I love you, man. He said it with his eyes. He said, I love you, and I have to do this because I'm the boss now, and I gotta act all tough. But I love you, and I respect you. Like, he's literally doing that. I'm ready to settle into a family-oriented life, and I recall you saying you would have children if you had the financial capital to do so. I know you desire to be a mother despite your current male partner not wanting them. You would make a wonderful mother to our children, blank, and I would ensure you had everything you needed to live the family life of your dreams. And I know you love to travel. Before we settle down with children, I want to take you to your dream destination list. I've kept track of all the places you've mentioned over the last few years that you'd like to visit. You always share such beautiful landscape photos. I want to take you to Japan, to Thailand, to New Zealand, to Greece, and after all that, we'll go to the opal mines in Australia for your dream ring. And then I'll take you to all the waterfalls the islands have to offer.
You're not wanted, guy. Either read between the lines or look between the bars.
I feel like we're reading the contractual terms of like an NFL trade or something right now. Like the Jets have traded a 5th round pick to the Giants for a 7th rounder and a trip to Guatemala. Like this is just like bartering. How does this sound? My proposition is serious. You know I am a serious man. Oh, we know. I am turning 45 years old this year, and you are turning 32 years old. It's time to start making decisions about our familial life and how to enjoy our remaining years. Please know I have never offered any woman this proposition. I have a very secure career that I enjoy and will do whatever it takes to maintain in order to have your companionship, sexual prowess, and motherly raising of our children. I will give you everything you desire as long as you'd agree to be my wife and raise our children. Okay, now that we've essentially just read the novel War and Peace, let's actually get to the wife's response now. Hey blank, I wanted to acknowledge that I received your message. It's really long though, so give me a minute to read and respond. Good morning blank, I'm still waiting your acceptance of my proposal. I look forward to hearing from you. Literally reads like those scam emails you get when someone's like, please, I've captured a Nigerian prince and I need help taking him to a different country. Will you give me $5,000 to... I'm awaiting your acceptance of my proposal. Good morning, blank. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I don't know how to respond to this. I don't mean this negatively, but I honestly don't know whether or not to take this seriously. What I mean by that is, I don't know if this is a joke or not. As you said, this is quite out of left field, so I'm not exactly sure how to respond to you. Basically just saying, are you out of your fucking mind? Are you out of your skull? Just making sure. Like, how in your skull are you right now? This proposition is very serious, blank. I have to make serious considerations about my familial life as I'm ready to establish this. I know I can offer you much more than your boyfriend can. It has been 10 years, blank, and he still has not provided you with those things you desire most. I am a better provider than he is, and I will ensure your needs are met. Please, I would appreciate you taking this seriously and giving me a date and time I can come collect your items and move you into my house. It's in northern blank. I don't like that he keeps saying her name over and over. It's like very off-putting. Like, you don't have to do that. It's like very insistent on like, I'm trustworthy. I know your name. I know so many things about you. Your name, in your name. Surely you have to understand I can't agree to something like this. My life is my life because I've built it this way. I am not a damsel waiting to be rescued. While yes, I would enjoy an easier path to achieving the lifestyle I want, I don't mind working for it. And frankly, I'm insulted that you perceive my career to be a choice I'm settled to because I have not found the right man. Most importantly, it's another level of egotistical to assume I would dump an 11-year relationship in an instant for a fantasy pipe dream of yours. Blank, I mean this seriously. I am not interested in your proposition. Trading my life for materialistic items and to be a breed mare is not something I ever intended to do with my time. I don't know you. You don't know me. You have a limited glimpse into my life through my social media posts. What you see online represents a minute fraction of who I am as a person. We were co-workers and nothing more. I made this very clear to you in the years we worked together. I was in my relationship prior to even working with you. Yes, you're right. You never crossed that boundary. But instead, you've spent the last 6 years building a fantasy and dream life in your mind in which you think I would trade my value as a human being for a lake property house and free time for pottery. I am not sure how you became convinced this would be enough to make me leave the life I have built, but I need to assure you it is not. Please do not ask me this again. I am not interested, nor will I ever be interested in being your wife and child bearer. I'll be honest, I thought she was going to be a little bit nicer out of fear, because people like this are terrifying. So I really thought she was going to be, I thought there was going to be a bit more, hey, I appreciate it so much. Really good on her to be like, essentially, fuck you, breed mare, blank. Now, there's no need to insult me.
There was no need to insult her husband either, you little guy.
I am not propositioning you to live in solitude and raise children alone. I want a family. I want you to be my wife specifically, and I want to build a family with you. I thought you were intelligent enough to understand how great of an offer this is. I know you're primarily saying no because you don't find me physically attractive. If I looked better than your boyfriend, I have no doubts you would emphatically tell me yes. I didn't know you were so shallow, blank. Again, with the names. You would learn to be physically attracted to me, just as I learned to be physically attracted to you after you gained 60 pounds. You look much better when you are staying in the 150 to 200 pounds range, yet I never said a word to you about the fact that you gained so much weight because I realized you were perfect otherwise. I realized your looks didn't matter when your soul is what I wanted to spend time with. Then why don't you mention anything about the soul in the first 99% of this? Why wasn't the soul the first thing you led with? Lead with the soul. That should be on a Hobby Lobby pillow or something. Lead with the soul. It is simply a trade for a house and free time. I am offering you the very thing you constantly talked about and post about. The freedom to enjoy your existence without stress and anxiety. Simply, in return, we are married and have a family together. You would learn to love it because our home together would be so peaceful and joyful. However, perhaps you're right and you are not the woman I thought you were. You're attracted to a low-life loser who filed bankruptcy at 25 and hid his credit card debt from you. You pay his bills while he job hops because he doesn't know how to stay at a job for longer than a year. You cried constantly at work and had panic attacks not knowing where the money was going to come from. And what did you do? You worked a second and third job to make ends meet while he piddled away at putting in applications and not manning up to do what he needed to do. Why are you choosing this weak boy over me? I am mature, career-oriented, family-oriented, and I am a devoted partner. I would never force you into a position to make up for my shortcomings like your boyfriend does. I am better than him in every way, and yet you still choose him. It is baffling to me why young women like yourself want to be with the losers and drug dealers who will end up beating you silly. Where are the drugs coming from? I thought you were different. I thought surely such a radiant and vibrant young woman wouldn't chain herself to such a low-life, knuckle-dragging ape. But yet you did. You would take the lifestyle of where you have to be a provider over the lifestyle I'm offering you. Don't you want to take a break? Aren't you tired of always taking care of him?
Aren't you tired of being a heartless harlot?
You must stay with him for his penis size because I can't even imagine to understand how someone as intelligent as you are would turn down my offer. A luxury life free of stress turned down for a life of second guessing and financial strain. Why? What good reason do you have to turn down my offer? I hate to keep comparing The Office, but I'm going to keep doing it because my girlfriend and I have been watching it over and over again lately, so it's just fresh on my mind, but this definitely reminds me of Dwight and Angela's contract. This is just... We're definitely reading texts from the Beat Man right now. I'm not even going to entertain that message with a response. I don't owe you any explanation about why I'm still with boyfriend, even after all of his shortcomings. I don't owe you any explanation on anything ever. I've been wondering all evening what it could possibly be about me that you're so repulsed by that you won't accept the offer of a lifetime. My friends are also appalled. Why aren't you accepting this?
Oh, you don't have friends. You have henchmen.
It's everything you have ever wanted, and you're turning it down still. Why, blank? You owe me an explanation after I spent years ensuring I had enough to offer you. I'm starting to get very upset by your actions. You have one more chance. Anything less than emphatic yes will not be accepted. One more chance until what? Armageddon? Like, what are we doing here? In the most polite way possible, fuck off, blank. I don't owe you shit. I'll be blocking you now. Have a great rest of your life. I waited all day to see if your little conniption would resolve and you'd come back begging me for this opportunity. But I see you've decided to block me on Facebook, but too stupid to also block me on Messenger, at least for now. I imagine as soon as you see this, you'll end up blocking me here so that I can't communicate with you. I cannot believe I allowed myself to become entangled in the idea that a beastly fat woman such as yourself would actually choose to settle down with me. Lord, be with this man in his times of trial and tribs. Be with him through this deep, deep psychosis that he's enduring at this moment in time. This man is huffing nitrous in his free time. I swear to God, he's huffing nitrous, dude. I could do so much better than you, and yet here I was offering you a way out of your wretched life. We both know you're settled with blank because you're too lazy to lose weight and make yourself more attractive, and you've trained him to be okay with your fat. Jesus, man. I was willing to let your fatness go to the side because I knew if you had free time, you'd lose the weight and retain a more attractive figure for our relationship. I'm embarrassed I've spent so much time preparing for this moment and it was wasted on a fat ho-ho who doesn't know when she has struck gold.
She hasn't struck gold, she struck mold, brother!
I truly thought you were different, that you actually wanted a nice man to be with. I see I was dead wrong. And I love that she reacted it. Love it. You can literally suck the juices out of my fat and choke on them, you absolute troglodyte. Oh. I almost bowed on instinct. Why am I bowing? I should just... Wow. I'm using this insult. I'm using it. Word for word. Even the C word. I'm using it. You can suck my fat C and choke on them, you absolute... And there's much more long information here, so I've cliff noted it once again. After these text messages were exchanged, it actually got worse. Elroy started sending letters to the house. He looked at her personal file in court and saw her forwarding address, and that's how he started sending letters.
Horrified, he'll click!
Daily, he sent letters, DoorDash, food, which they never accepted, groceries, roses, sometimes 2 to 3 times a day. Again, police didn't do anything because the letters were always about mundane, nothing things, and nothing extreme or threatening. In fact, they were almost a little confused as to why she was worried, because they were like, this is all great stuff. I would love some flowers. Can Elroy send me some flowers? How about some petunias? The wife was fully work from home by this time, and the husband worked away from home. So naturally terrified. They got home security cameras, privacy fence, they got a German shepherd to guard the house. They did it all. Finally, after weeks and weeks of this, a detective came to the house and was like, hey, do you want to press charges? Or he was like, yeah. No shit, detective dipshit. We've been wanting to, we've said it 20 times. So they went to court and they found out just how delusional Elroy was. He was completely convinced that he was in a relationship with the wife. He had convinced himself of this entirely. In fact, so much so that he was talking about their relationship to the judge in court as if they were for real dating. But since he never threatened harm or anything, he got only community service hours and a lifetime protection order, so he couldn't contact her or see her in person ever again. This is the prime example of a nice guy. Many women and men can easily be faked out by this because it's just constant affection, attention, and persistence, and they don't see it as love bombing and ulterior motives. They don't see the boundary crossing. They don't see any of that because they're not making actual violent threats, and they don't have to make actual violent threats, and they don't have to break into your home for it to be considered stalking. Not everyone is Joel Goldberg out here. This is not Netflix. This is real life, dude. Many of them are like Elroy. They hide behind fake pleasantries and sweetness and small talk and this like fake dedication, not only because they want you to fall for what they're selling, but it also to avoid prison time, which is what he did. And when they don't get exactly what they want, or they get exactly what they want, that's when the mask comes off. And I think this kind of stuff is important. It's important to talk about and keep talking about. So I don't know. This was a stressful one. I think we need to watch something more positive. So in the top left, you'll find a green flag wholesome video with some wholesome Reddit stories. Okay, that's my time. Toodles.